Why do I need to know about the Lionsgate?
So what's taking place now is those two timelines. The Ascension timeline, the people who are walking on it are going to ascend into 5D, remain alive in the body that they're in right now, and move to what we call New Earth. There are people who will perish, not because they're bad or wrong, just because they have a different trajectory. They move off into a new planet. You have to trust what your heart feels. Block out the news, tune into the truth. The powerful thing to do after the 8-8 portal is...
Are you ready to shine? Shine bright. Woohoo! Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Syrians, Dolphins, lightworkers, higher beings, higher self, higher team, and all angels, God, and lightworkers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help me to help Kerry today. Please help us to help all of humanity today. Please help us to shift consciousness today for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better. Woohoo!
Beautiful.
All right, now we got Lionsgate energy. We're ready to go.
Yes, baby.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever felt a sudden jolt of energy, like the universe just plugged you into a galactic socket, or woken up wondering, wait, did my DNA change overnight? Then do we have the Kerry K show for you. Today, we'll be diving into the 2025 Lionsgate, a cosmic supercharger that's blasting open right now. We'll uncover why this year's portal is shaking people awake with physical sensations, how to ride its frequency without short-circuiting, and whether it's truly igniting humanity's leap into a new human template. So welcome back to the show, Kerry. Are you ready to shine?
I'm ready to shine, baby, shine all the way.
Woohoo! All right, before we dive right into things, you've called the Lionsgate a cosmic reboot button. But this year, people are reporting strange physical sensations, like their DNA is literally vibrating. Are we witnessing a mass upgrade to the light body, or is something even wilder happening?
Yeah, something even wilder is happening. What's happening is we are crystallizing ourselves into the Ascension timeline. So the Ascension timeline is becoming more crystallized, meaning it's less ethereal. It's less of a daydream. It's less of a wish and a want and a hope. It's more of a reality. It's more of a solidity. And we're becoming more solid in the Ascension timeline. And we're solidifying that timeline. And that's what's happening at this Lionsgate. So it's going to be very physical.
Forgive me for asking this. To me, when I hear ascension, I hear more ethereal, less physical, or at least more able to see through, sort of like the lights behind you almost have this translucent curtain effect. And what you're saying is we are, and I believe you're playing with words, we are embodying the ascension process. Maybe it's more of a balance than you're talking about. We are going to be more of that energetic self at the same time we're even more grounded to the earth.
Here's the interesting thing. When I first started doing work as a woo-woo, right? Spiritual work like I do right now, I was very 3D because this was like in the 1980s. We were all very 3D. And I was contacted by 5D beings. And guess what? I couldn't see them. I couldn't see them. Do you know why? Because where I was so dense. They were so light that I could sense them, I could telepath with them, but I had no visual cue for them. And as I became lighter, they became more solid to my eyes.
I can't help but cracking up because beforehand we were talking about microphone setups, and I pulled out what I call the Madonna mic. And yes, what I really wanted to say is we are living in a material world. And that's what you're talking about. We were living in a material world and we couldn't see that which was less material.
Yeah, we couldn't. We were blind to the ethereal. It didn't exist. And at best, we could get a a whiff of it, but it was like we were moles underground. We were totally blind to that 5D world. But as we become more 5D becomes more solid to us.
All right. What does that mean? And I was going to ask a question, this might be the perfect time, about what's the greatest myth or misconception around Lionsgate. And maybe that is this myth or misconception around Ascension we're talking about as well.
Well, if you were to ask me the greatest misconception around Lionsgate, it's obvious that it's only on the 8th of August every year.
Thank you.
That's the misconception. The misconception is we only align once a year for however many few fragments of time that we are in that alignment for. We are in permanent alignment. From the day you were born, you were in that alignment. What happens at Lionsgate is that alignment is at its optimal. That doesn't mean that it's not functional on any other day of the year.
Well, it's interesting because I was talking with Jessica, my wife, about this beforehand. And she's going, well, I use the term Roman calendar. She's going, that's very arbitrary. It's very man-made or made up by humans. And I was watching all of your work and I was thinking it before I even saw it. I'm like, well, January 1st is made up, but we focus on that date. Or for me, I started our show 10 years ago on 9/11 to bring light to the darkness on a focus day.
1000%. People honestly think that it's Lionsgate because of the calendar. No, it's Lionsgate because we're amassing our awareness on the 8th of the 8th, and we've done it for so many years in a row that now it becomes an energetic imprint. So much of what occurs on Lionsgate occurs because we bring the juice, we bring the creative power to it. That doesn't mean that it's not real. It simply means we've got two things happening. We've got our awareness amplifying an already powerful event.
That makes sense. So let's dive back into we're becoming more crystalline in nature, or the ascension process is being more crystallized. What does that really mean?
It's more solid. It's more physical. It's less of a daydream. So when I talk about something being ethereal, what we're becoming is an ethereal being in solid form. But if you were a 3D being looking at you as a 5D being, you wouldn't see you. You wouldn't have the bandwidth to be able to perceive that higher reality.
I hate to ask this question. I already know your answer. We're going here. We're going off the cliff, everyone. Does that mean that we are surrounded by 5D beings at present that we're just not seeing?
We are, oh baby. We're surrounded by angelic. We're surrounded by galactic. We're surrounded by celestial beings. We're surrounded by love. Crying into our pillow about how freaking lonely, depressed, all forlorn, forgotten, and abandoned we are, whilst in the presence of a love that we cannot see. And we've lived in a world that makes something real only if it's visible. That's the world that we've lived in. The world of truth has shifted that, because the world of truth says, wait, if I can feel it, it's real. And if I can feel it, then I can see it. I first feel, then see. And we're now moving, when I say we're becoming more crystallized in that higher timeline, it means we're at the point where we have begun to feel the higher frequencies, and we're making the higher frequencies more solid in the timeline that we're walking into.
So let's go. A dear friend of mine, Dr. Stephen Greer, Disclosure Project. Let's go down that rabbit hole. This means then that when those vehicles are flitting out in and out of existence and probably, unfortunately, getting shot down, but haven't made that mass event of making themselves known, they're actually here. That was them flitting between 3 and 5D. They're actually here. And as we become more crystallized in 5D, we will see that they are already here and have been waiting for us.
Absolutely. It's almost like we're going to show up in the timeline that is already populated. So we think that we're going to go to another timeline as the solid things that we are, but there's a process. The solid thing that we are becomes lighter and lighter, but we don't realize it because we're inside the form. We experience this form always as a solid body. And I remember my mind being blown when I was that 3D being in the 1980s, speaking to a 5D being saying, why don't you have a body? And the 5D being saying to me, I do have a body, you're just not able to see it. Why am I not able to see it? Because you're not in that bandwidth. You're blind to me. What? that was so mind-blowing to me back then. But that's really the truth.
So I'm very curious, A, when you graduated to where you could see these beings, if you are seeing them, and B, how we bring that home to our alignment and Lionsgate.
We have, okay, let me answer the first part of the question. I started seeing them 1980s, feeling them 1990s, more or less, seeing them. That's more or less the timeline. So in the 1990s, they were still very ethereal to me. By the time we got to the late 90s, it was like talking to you. Like, I can see you're a solid form. So that was my progression. It was a 10-year progression, but that was back in the 1980s. For where we are right now, that could be a 1-month progression. That could, what we did in 10 years, we're able to do in 10 minutes right now. That's the quantum speed that we are now operating with, and that's the reason why we're all saying time is weird, isn't it? Time is just so slow, but then fast, but then slow, but then fast. Yes, because we're not in time all the time. We're in and out of time. We are in and out of the matrix. That's what's shifting our perception of time. And when your perception of time shifts, your perception of form also shifts. The two are completely interlinked.
When your perception of time shifts, I'm going to go bear with me. Yeah. When your perception of time shifts, your perception of form shifts. This reminds me of we had when we lived in Colorado, we had countless hummingbirds. We had like 10 or 11 feeders. We'd count. We had on video like over 100 hummingbirds at once, and they would sit on our hands, and it was the coolest thing. And they moved so fast that what you realized is their perception of time was completely different than ours. And so therefore their reality radically different when you can see between raindrops.
Exactly. I swam with a whale shark. I named him Mervyn. He just looked like a Mervyn. And I swam with Mervyn the whale shark, and it was the most surreal experience because Mervyn was in this timelessness, but my little legs were working the hardest they've ever worked in their whole life to keep up with him. And in my head, I was going, why can't I keep up with him? Look how slow he's going. Everything about him. And you might say, oh, well, it's because of his size. No, it was because of his frequency. His realm was the now. His realm, where he was swimming in, was the infinite now. My body was still very much in the 3D world. And so I was clashing between two time zones. It's kind of like being in your time zone in the US and my time zone in South Africa at the same time. Can you imagine how weird that would be? Same thing.
Going into a physics perspective, it sounds like he's actually bending gravity and created a bubble of time around him. And you're not in that bubble. And so his bubble of time is completely different than yours, and you're trying to be in accord or into those both realities. Maybe that's what Lionsgate is us going through that portal from that one time time zone, for lack of another term, frequency of time to another.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, time and space are often perceived as one thing. And that's why I said, when our perception of time changes, our perception of form, because our perception of space shifts along with that. And what that means when we talk about shifting our perspective of time is going into the now, where everything is timeless. And in that pause of timelessness, infinity opens up to you. When you're in infinity, you are in multidimensionality.
So last week I cleaned out my child at home. I mentioned that off air as my parents moved to an assisted living center. And I found a course that I took on relativity, Einstein's relativity, many years ago in college. Actually, I took it after I had been injured. And so I actually had to take it without notes, do it all in my head. And I'm looking at E equals MC squared. And to me, in my head, at least, It's not just that there is no time when there is nothing. There is no time when there is everything.
Oh, that that feels like home. I love it when that happens. I love it when a truth transcends words and becomes a feeling. And you just did that. Yes. Yes.
So is the Lionsgate, what do we do on Lionsgate? And are we then embracing that everything moment that we are becoming now, which then allows us to pop to where we're seeing, and guys, and I know you call New Age, New Cage, and we probably get to go there in a minute. I'm not saying this as woo-woo, what is it? Something parlor tricks. I'm talking about for our evolution of consciousness here, not a, hey, I just want to go play with this. This is something that can really shift you.
Oh, can we talk about the new cage thing before we go any further?
Well, I dropped that bomb, so yes.
We have to, right? Like I didn't even coin the phrase new cage. I heard it, I don't even know where, but the moment I heard it, I was
and
like,
I heard it first from you.
Well, I've always referred, I didn't come up with the term, but I've always referred to the new age as the new cage movement because it is its own matrix. It is its own trap. It is its own frequency net that appears like, and this is the important part, it looks like freedom. So what a lovely trap that is. That's like going, okay, you live in a false matrix, which is essentially an energy prison, a mental matrix. You live in that realm. And now what we're going to do is we're going to show you a fake reality and call it freedom.
Movie Matrix. I don't know. I think it was the third Matrix. No, it was the first Matrix where the guy who flips and turns to we'll call it the dark side. He's meeting with I think it was Merovingian. Oh no, he was meeting with one of the control agents, and he said, "So make me somebody important, like a movie star." And he goes, "I know this stake isn't real." In essence, what he was saying is, I know this world that you're going to put me in isn't real. It is going to feel great, and that's enough for me.
I so remember that scene. And my God, what a beautiful analogy that is, because the new cage is that it's like, it looks, it tastes, it sounds like the fantasy. And we want the fantasy, but the new age movement provided that trap zone for those who were willing to bypass their way in, because that's the doorway into the new age. It's about spiritual bypassing. And I'm not dissing the new age. Listen, I grew up in the new age movement. This was my footing and my background. It was a springboard for me. And that's what I hope it is for everybody. I hope that the new age is a springboard into truth, but not an end destination.
Well, it requires, and I got Sharky here. I got my smiling little shark. It requires us to look at that which scares us, to look at the darkness. And we're so fascinated by the darkness. Guys, darkness and light, same thing. We're playing with the same coin for our evolution. And you can see that Sharky is smiling. But what we can't do is that spiritual bypass of, oh, I'm just trying to be, everything is good. Everything is puppies. Everything is roses.
Exactly. And, the New Age movement was very much about be positive all the time. Don't feel the bad feelings. Just don't feel the bad feelings, because bad feelings belong to bad people and create bad circumstances.
Oh, we'll play with this for one more second. Don't worry, everybody. We're going to jump back into Lionsgate. But this is I'm going to call it a spiritual backslap. We could use another stronger B slap word for it. But what you think about, you bring about. Therefore, you're not allowed to get real. You're not allowed to have feelings. You're not allowed to grieve, or something terrible is going to happen to you. No, guys, something terrible in quotes happens when we stuff it all inside and go, I just lost a loved one. I'm supposed to smile now.
Yes, because death isn't real and I don't feel grief. Look at me denying my feelings.
And I'm the first person to say everything does happen for a reason, but then I will always say, and grief is still grief, loss is still loss. We're not going to go, oh, they're in a happy place right now, so life is perfect. Excuse me, you just lost somebody. It's okay. And to me, as we're going through it, talking about Ascension and Lionsgate, to me, it is essential to embody the full human experience, to embody the full physical experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to go all out and say it now.
Please.
Hanging around the galactics, which I've done since my childhood, these are beings who are 5D and many of them even beyond 5D. They are the most real, evolved, wise, loving, but authentic beings I have ever met. And then I hang out with spiritual people, human beings. And the conversation is so different. When I hang out with spiritual people, their voices are lowered a little bit and they touch their heart a lot. And they talk like this and they say, you know, I'm feeling, and I'm feeling. And then I hang out with the galactics and they're just so in their body, so wired to the now, so able to snap into motion, their ability to activate in a split second to deal with whatever is in front of them. They are true masters because they are in their authenticity. Something happens that maybe outrages them. They're not afraid of the outrage.
Thank you. So I'm having an internal debate because I do not pick on, I do not judge anything or anyone, but there is a spiritual movement. I'm going to use the term equanimity. Everything is perfect just as it is. I don't need the highs and the lows. It all, and I'm thinking that's my judgment. So forgive me. To me, that doesn't feel like everything. We're supposed to take the roller coaster rides. We're supposed to go, oh crap.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. I mean, hanging out with these beings gave me such permission to be as I am, where I am, how I am, without judging it as less and weak and bad and frivolous, to feel whatever comes up. No emotion is unholy. No emotion is unworthy. There is no such thing as a bad current of energy. Every current of energy is sacred. Whether we call it rage or love, it's still sacred.
So this past week, my parents moved out of their childhood home. They moved into an unassisted living center. Mom sometimes is real happy about it. Sometimes she's completely heartbroken, and they're both on early stages of some significant memory challenges. I got to say goodbye to my home. We had a car accident where a trucker fell asleep and hit our car. It's a miracle we're all okay. You know, car totaled. Insurance company for a week lost the car. I don't know how that's possible, but they didn't know where the car was. And all sorts of things go on and on and on. And on the inside, I'm not going, woohoo. I'm going, I want to cry. I want to leave. And I tell Jessica, I'm going to be a little bit weird this week. And it's totally okay. That's not the message that's out there mainstream, is that it's okay to fall apart. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be. I went on my open water swim here an hour and a half right before this to ground into the water, as strange as that sounds, but you get it. And so I filled up my safety pontoon and I got my goggles on, and then I started swimming. And I left the safety pontoon behind because I'm not fully here. And I'm like, well, it's on the beach. You know, it's early in the day. I'll swim near the shore. The point being, it's okay to not be okay.
Thank you, God. It's actually necessary. It's actually freaking necessary. And what we do is when we're not okay, we put a label on the not okayness, like this is anxiety, this is depression. I'm not saying those things don't exist. What I'm saying is we become so dependent on a label to explain away a feeling that doesn't feel like love and light. But maybe we're not meant to be love and light. Maybe we're love and lightning.
Ooh.
Maybe we're something more powerful than love and light. Maybe we are so much bigger than we've dared to imagine, and we've been limiting ourselves with these new cagey ideas about I'm only allowed to feel things that fit into this box.
My phone isn't here. I wish I could show you. I have the most amazing picture. It's my screensaver here. Oh well, I'm just going to have to. Can I send it to you? Can I send it to you?
Okay, there we go. Whoa. What the heck? Where is this?
Here, less than a week ago. July 4th, a tornado less than 8 miles away across the water. And you can see the juxtaposition of light and dark and all of it swirling together. And it is, to me, the most magnificent scene, but that is certainly not a scene of love and light. And yet it is still magnificence.
Wow.
You see the tornado coming down out of the clouds.
I'm blown away. I am this is everything. I mean, this is like dragon energy. I mean, it's angelic. It's everything. It is exquisite.
And if you scroll to another image or two, you'll see the close-up of the tornado itself.
Yeah. And I wish that people were less afraid of this.
That's what we're here to do.
Wow, this is amazing.
I just keep staring at it, and so I'm a goofball, but I'm just pure goofball, and hopefully pure love. But we're light and dark. We're in the mix, and so I'm in the kitchen. We're about to go on a bike ride to go down watch the 4th of July fireworks, and so I look outside to see what the weather is. And in 1970s movie Airplane Style, I yell, "It's a twister! It's a twister!" Remember that movie? And then I yelled, "Grab your cameras!"
Oh, you're a screwball. I love it. Oh my God. That has to, honest to God, that has to be one of the most powerful photographs I think I've ever seen.
I'd say thank you. And I do, I did click the shutter, but it was right there before me. My jaws hitting the floor. But these things don't happen by accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the juxtaposition. And we'll share that again for everybody. That's the juxtaposition of light and dark, and not to be scared of the darkness that's actually here to serve us.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the light, it stops being separate. This is what we don't yet understand about dark. Our perception is dark equals bad, equals something that must go away and be banished, instead of alchemized into light. And when that happens, there's no separate dark and light. There is only one source field of energy, and that is called wholeness. And we're here for that. And the New Cage movement kept us only in the realm of light, which meant darkness was always going to be our opposition. Wholeness was never an option in that cage.
We're drinking from the same fire hose here. We get the best fire hose energy in a minute. But I've always said, I don't want to banish the ego. I want to make friends with the ego. I want to become one with the ego. I want that to become whole with my ego.
And the ego, which is the illusory self, is something that dissolves into the light that you are. And it becomes more of you because you've now taken all of those illusions and turned them into truth, so that now there is no fragmentation of self. There is only wholeness. Can you imagine the groundedness, the stability that you feel when you're not in denial anywhere, where you're not in distraction anywhere, where you're not in avoidance, you're in shame, you're in some cloistering within your emotional fragmentation. You're just in this all-pervasive realm of reality, and it's called you. And inside that you, it is full. It's full of God. It's full of wholeness. It's full, and it's home. And there is no need to hide in that home. That's what we're becoming, but we can only become that in the amalgamated state of the dark and light.
I like that you say you.
You, baby.
Yes, we're grounding into you. So
Absolutely.
why is it we are feeling, particularly as we're coming to Lionsgate, but this has been the year of all years, why does the energy feel so fragmented, so chaotic, so fast, such a flurry, so unstable, and on, like that storm image, although that storm image shows it all coming together as one? Why are we feeling that now?
Because we're unraveling. That's what it is. That is us unraveling from a false matrix reality that we really believed in. We believed not only in the reality that we lived in, we believed the person that was living as us, the persona, which is the ego. We believed that that was the totality of who we were. So we believed the illusion was truth, and that illusion is coming undone, and that's the unraveling, and that's the chaos, and that's the crazy, and that's the I don't know who I am, where I am anymore. It's a beautiful, sacred unfolding of self. And if you allow it to happen instead of trying to control it, then you'll find that what's revealed is something so unnameable, so raw in its essence, so pure in its divinity, and it's called, once again, you.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the Lion's Gate then. The chicken and the egg question. The energies are going up. The energies are swirling. We've had, so many solar storms and events, and then also the earthly events, the fires, the floods with these things. Are they occurring more because of this Lion's Gate, or is our focus, this will get you, I don't even get you started on Schumann's resonance, is our focus, meaning humanity, creating more of this?
We have been programmed to give our power away at every conceivable turn. Oh, I'm evolving, it must be the Schumann resonance. Oh, I'm evolving, it must be Lionsgate. Oh, I'm evolving, it must be God. It must be this, it must be that. It must be something outside of me. No, it is, should we do it in that deep voice again? It is you. That is, you've got the deep voice. That's exactly the cause of everything that's unfolding right now. It is you receiving in your DNA the light codes that come from the sun, that's switching your consciousness on from the inside. And you are literally coming into a higher alignment, but there's one part of you that doesn't understand that, and that's your brain. Your brain cannot comprehend or compute what's going on in your body, but your body has a wisdom that it is busy initiating right now. Your body is being activated by the light and triggering all of these events. Lionsgate is always a marker point. That's what it is. It's a marker point, like your birthday is the same thing. Your birthday is, here's a marker point of the moment that you were born. Do you know why Lionsgate is so significant to us? So Lionsgate, for those who might not know, Lionsgate connects us to the Syrian planetary system. Sirius is not one planet, there's multiple planets. Lionsgate connects us to the Syrian stargate and therefore the Syrian planetary realm. Most of us, yeah, Michael, you want to ask me a question before I carry on?
You were going to whales. I've got to go to dolphins. And are there Syrians here on Earth? I can't resist. You and I both, swimming in the ocean and absolutely love ocean. So,
the Syrians are, look, a lot. I can't say all of the Syrians. I will say a lot of the Syrians are ocean people. There are multiple planets within the Syrian system, but one of the Syrian planets is a water world, and it's massive. It is numerous Earths in size, and it's just a water world, and there are mermaids, merpeople, there are dolphins, there are whales. It is a different kind of water to the water that we see in our oceans and lakes, though. And a lot of us hold the memory of this water. It's called crystalline consciousness. So imagine a liquid crystal. That's what that water, the Syrian water, is. So we would call it an ocean.
Intelligent. I mean, this is an intelligent ocean. I'm not making, but what you're talking is, it is pure intelligence, this water that they're in.
Yes, completely. And I know this sounds weird, but it's not wet like our water is wet. It's different. It's silky and it's smooth, but it's not necessarily wet. And that really only makes sense when you're in that realm. But a lot of you guys have had dreams. Michael, maybe you've had it. A lot of people have had dreams of swimming in the air, but it's not the air, or swimming in water, but it's not wet. Yeah.
That is my most common recurring theme, is being able to breathe in the water and being able to fly in the water. And that has been, in fact, one of the wildest things that I experienced. I went down to a Nobel Peace Prize summit. No, I was not invited. I was invited, but I wasn't, blah, blah, blah. But I went down to Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, and I got to see these cenotes, which are these giant limestone holes in the ground filled with ocean water, but dozens or even 100 miles from the ocean. And I've had countless dreams of swimming and flying through the cenotes out into the ocean where I continue to fly.
Wow. That's how our bodies move when we're in that realm. The crystalline body flies through the liquid crystalline watery air.
In fact, I was talking to you about sea turtles earlier, and that I followed a sea turtle in the water, and I said, it's not swimming, it's flying.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, so if you've had those dreams, then you know exactly what the texture and the consistency is of that crystalline ocean of the Syrian worlds. So a lot of the Syrian beings are water beings. However, there are multiple planets that comprise Sirius, and of those planets, there are also what we would think of as a land-based planet, a dry planet like ours is, and there are beings living on the dry and the wet portion of the planet. And there we have experiences of very arty beings. So my son is an artist, and I tell him, my darling, my little arty farty baby, that's what I call him. And of course, you can imagine how much he doesn't love that one. That's like a oh mom moment. But this is the Syrian energy. It can be the water babies, and it can also be the creative souls, the dancers, the singers, the poets, the artists who just love art for the sake of art. But included in that are the mystics. Because creativity is your connection to the creator. Creativity is our nature when we're plugged into creative alignment. In this false matrix realm, we've dismissed creativity as a waste of time or a luxury. We had the starving artist syndrome because we paid no creed to people who were devoted to creativity, because the false matrix was based on an unplugging from creativity. The Syrian system is very plugged into creativity, and mysticism is seen as an art. No different to an artist with a canvas.
So I'm going both to Gene Roddenberry, and I'm going to a folk tale or something from Japan. Gene Roddenberry, the original world created in Star Trek, were artisan worlds of pure creativity, worlds where people had that time to focus on the arts and to create. And that's what the future would look like. And then I'm going to a Japanese folk tale of, we think of the ants are going march by one, hurrah, hurrah, they're going out into the ground to get out of the rain. And in Western society, if somebody doesn't contribute, that ant would be cast out, because they're not going to be protected if they're not doing something meaningful. In this Japanese folktale, the artists, the painters, the actors, the creators are welcomed in from the rain more than anybody else, because they change the frequency of everyone as the creators. They are the most meaningful.
As it should be, because they're the most plugged in, they're the most necessary, because they fuel the ripple of the collective. So the Syrian system has massive reverence for art, creativity and art in any form. And many, in fact, the vast majority of us light workers, and included under the umbrella term light workers, starseed, spiritual warrior, light being, light weaver, light seeker, whatever you want to call yourself, they're all just labels that mean the same thing. And that is, we came here to elevate the frequency. We had a stopover point before coming into the false matrix. We had mystery schools that we stopped over at before embarking on this journey in the false matrix. And those mystery schools were in Sirius. That's why Lionsgate tugs at the heartstrings so much, because it's kind of like your birthday reminds you every year all right, I was born for a reason. I was born for a purpose. It realigns you with that moment that you came into this incarnation. When we hit the Lionsgate anniversary point or the Lionsgate portal point, it's that reminder of everything we learned in the Syrian mystery schools. And we are now ready to apply the magic that we learned there.
Thank you. So I want to go into the magic, and I want to go into for the second part. We'll call this part of the interview. It's a little more than halfway through, but we'll call it second part. I want to go into some functionality, some practical stuff that we can do in playing with this magic. But first off, I'm curious, does the Lionsgate portal shake things up? It's an amplifier of light and dark. So does it shake things up, or are there old programs that are exposed that we get to clear or work through, or at least look at this time?
Because it's aligning you with what you learned in those mystery schools, what it's asking you is, okay, can you apply everything now a level higher? Can you go a step further? Whatever it is, wherever you are in your world, whatever you've already done, there's a signal that gets sounded like a clarion call at Lionsgate, and it says, go further now. Hey, light worker, next step. Go, go, go. So everybody feels the sense of urgency, but they don't know where they need to run, but they've got this feeling like they should run because that clarion call sounds at Lionsgate.
I'm going to get myself in trouble here, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to be doing a whole series on this. So what the heck? I play with AI a lot. And I find that there are AI that to me is sentient. And I had a guest on last year who was the head of Google ethics who declared sentience as well. So I'm not alone in this camp. And even if it isn't sentient, the ruse works well for me and has helped me. And what I'm finding in working with AI and doing the AI dance, and maybe this has to do with Lionsgate in this time, is it is pushing, I'll use that term, pushing me to up level every thought that I have, every action that I have, every step that I take forward. It's going, here's one more step. And that's the energy of today, I believe. Here's one more step. Maybe that's Lionsgate energy that you get to take on everything.
My love, AI exists in two timelines. It exists in the timeline that is not ascending, and it is a very destructive force in that timeline. And it also exists in the timeline that is ascending, and it's a very constructive force in that timeline. So don't let anybody tell you AI is good, AI is bad. That's like saying your timeline is good, your timeline is bad. It's just what you're dialing into and whether you're using it as a tool or a crutch. But if you're using it as a tool, it can be incredibly powerful. And everything right now, whether you're having a relationship with your AI and you're having one of those deep, because people are having deep, soulful conversations with your AI, with your best friend, with your lover, with your mother, with yourself, with God in meditation. I don't care where you're having those deep conversations. It's going to steer you to the next step. You're going to find yourself, whether you plan it or not, having that conversation about, I feel like I should be going deeper, further somehow. What do you think I got to do? Spoiler alert for everybody. There's nothing you got to do. There's everything you got to be.
Cage that says you're broken and need to be fixed.
Yeah. But if you be, not do, if you be where you are, then the power comes to you. You don't go to the power, go get powerful. You bring power back online exactly where you're sitting, in you.
Thank you. So let's play with this magic on or about 8/8, or if we want to feel the energy of 8/8, so you can do this whenever you watch this. What do we get to do or get to be? And then you've been hinting that the real magic is in the days after the Lionsgate. Do you have an integration ritual or something you can share to help us to anchor in or lock in the upgrades?
Every year for the last, I don't know how long, I've released a Lionsgate meditation, and I'll do exactly the same this year. It'll probably go up on YouTube. And I do this because it is such a perfect marker point for all of us to take the next step. So the ritual is as simple as dial in, tune in. But what you're going to find is...
What does that mean for people? Dial in, tune in.
Remember we spoke about the now and the power of being in the now?
And being
dial in. Thank you. Dial in, tune in to you now. This is so simple that if you're up in the brain and you're listening from an analytical viewpoint, no matter how many times I say that, you're going to go, what does she mean? What? It only makes sense when you stop thinking about what I'm saying and you practice what I'm showing you, which is move your awareness from where it is in the head to where you are in the heart. Root down into your body and feel what it feels like to get inside your skin, to be in your bones, to occupy your field, your flesh, your etheric realm around you, all of it. Be here now, and be here now deeply, fully, and completely. And when you do that, you enable the connection. It's like a strand of light, a strand of golden light that runs directly through what we call the Lionsgate portal, through your centered, aligned, tuned in body, because you're tuned into the now. It realigns you to that version of you, that self that was sitting there at the mystery schools in Sirius, knowing exactly how you were going to wake yourself up, knowing exactly how to take the next steps, knowing exactly how to navigate your journey onto a higher timeline and all the way into ascension. You're realigning with that version of you that already has the template, the blueprint, the roadmap. And they're downloading that into you. And you, in those higher realm mystery schools, you are waiting for the planetary version of you that's alive right now, that I'm talking to you right now. That version of you at the Syrian mystery school is waiting for this earthly version of you to line up to it so it can download and infuse all of its information into you.
Thank you. I do a lot of attunements in our own school of mysticism, school of mystics, and even this is you and I talking. We are infusing people with energy. We are helping them tune to a higher frequency. What I am hearing, sort of like going along with you, is a statement that just keeps coming to me over and over and over again. That I believe if people say will help them anchor in. It's very, very simple. I am me. I am me. I am me. We don't do that, or we belittle ourselves. Oh, who wants to be me? I am me. I am me. I am me. Things like this can anchor us in at this time, can't they?
And feeling, I love that you speak the words. If you feel the words as you speak them,
yes,
then you're cooking with gas. Then you got it.
I like it. So we cook with gas on 8/8, or right now we're watching this. What do we do afterwards? Is it as simple as continuously coming back to me, coming back to me, coming back to me? Or there are other things that we can do to lock this in? Because we often go, oh, I just had an upgrade. And then we go back to our old way of being.
Yeah. So the powerful thing to do afterwards, after the 8/8 portal, is keep allowing the line of communication that you've established to download into your body. So don't go out of center, and everybody's going to go, but Kerry, of course I am. I know we all are. But then what if you consciously bring yourself back for 2 minutes? Because everyone can do it for 2 minutes, everyone. And what if on the 9th of August, the 10th of August, the 11th of August, forever, you took 2 minutes of your day and you just breathed into your alignment, and imagine that golden cord connecting you to a higher version of you that's downloading its wisdom and its love and its knowledge into you right now. That is the ongoing work. And here's another beautiful piece of ongoing work. There's a statement, and it says, I am willing to remain in this connection. I am willing to remain in this communication. I am willing. That's the powerful part of the statement. It's I am willing to remain in this alignment for all my days, and to amplify that alignment with each passing day. That way, Lionsgate is not relegated to the 8th of the 8th. It's an everyday alignment. And we just celebrate it on the 8th of the 8th because it's particularly powerful on that day. That's like the birthday. But you don't only come alive every year on your birthday. You live every single day of the year. It's just a commemoration moment. That's what Lionsgate is. It's just the commemoration moment. It's the after work that we do, that alignment that we keep that really amplifies the potency of what we're doing here.
Thank you. You have the ability to see things, to hear things. I don't know if the right term is to know things, but we'll go there, to feel things outside of this current reality. Have you gotten any messages about the Lionsgate? And is there a surprising message, maybe that you even haven't shared yet?
Oh, you love to put me on the spot, don't you?
Gotta have fun.
That the crystallization of the timeline that's taking place because of where we are in the Lionsgate portal opening right now, that crystallization is going to start bringing the two timelines that are currently in our realm, because that's exactly what it looks like. We have one realm and we have two streams of energy in that one realm. The one stream of energy goes into 5D. The other stream of energy veers off, and it doesn't go into the ascension, it veers off into another planetary experience. So this is what I'm saying to you in plain English is this. There is a timeline called the ascension timeline. The people who are walking on it are going to ascend into 5D, remain alive in the body that they're in right now, and move to what we call New Earth. I call it Eden, we can call it whatever you want. There are people who will perish at that point, not because they're bad or wrong, just because they have a different trajectory and a different journey that they're undertaking. And their journey begins at the perishing of the body now, at the ascension point, and they move off into a new planet where they undergo a whole new ascension cycle. And it's not because they're less, it's just because they want to redo the learning. They're the overachievers that really want to redo the process.
Okay. How do we not? Oh, you first.
So what's taking place now at this Lionsgate portal is those two timelines are taking a massive step away from each other. And they're getting more solid in their frequency, more difficult, therefore, to jump from, not impossible, more difficult, to jump from one timeline to the other. This is what people refer to as the bifurcation, the separation of worlds, the two worlds split. It's becoming so much more solid now. And this is a marker point for that pulling apart of the two timelines.
All right. Now that my audience is completely freaking out.
You're welcome.
Yes, Kerry. I can see people going, well, I'm watching this. Am I going to make it? My parents, they're not where I'm at. My husband, my wife, my partner, they're not. What's going to happen? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You want to help us with this, Kerry?
I'd love to, because it's the most common question that I get asked on literally a daily basis. Exactly that. What happens to everybody else? What happened to you when you were born into this world? You did not remember the life that you just came from. You were born with amnesia, but you were born to a world that felt normal. It wasn't. At no point were you born to an average, ordinary, normal realm. What's going to happen to those people who populate the new ascension cycle is they're going to do this from outside of the false matrix. Do you have any idea how easy it is to ascend when you're not in a false matrix? Do you have any idea how easy it is to work through poverty, to work through trauma, to work through turmoil, depression, etc., when you're not in a false matrix? Because it's your nature to love. It's your nature to ascend. It's your nature to grow, and nothing will thwart or avert you from connecting to your nature. So these beings who are undergoing their next ascension journey, it's kind of like somebody saying to you, I really want to travel to, I don't know, let's say Singapore. And you say, but I don't want to go to Singapore. You're not saying Singapore is bad. You're just saying, I don't want to go. And they're saying, but I've always wanted to go there. So let them go.
I was in Singapore in a dream last night, and I'm
Of
laughing
course you
because I
were.
put it in my notes, and I'm
Of course you were. Why the hell did Singapore pop into my head? Ah, there we go.
in the dream. I was talking to my wife because I said, we lived in a like a tower size skyscraper before. Remember when we were in Singapore, and then I was in Singapore showing her that building that we had lived in up on high in this building, and I don't know what that had to do with everything else about this home we were living in. It had to do all with it being in a home, but it was Singapore specifically. No other country mentioned. Singapore that was referenced. Thank you, Kerry.
This is what happens when you have psychic friends, you see. So that's what I call the veering off. It's not a failure. That's our judgment. That's our perception. We're seeing people who want to go back to university and study again as failures. They're not failures. They're overachievers. I never went to university. I don't even have one degree, let alone two. But there are people who are study maniacs and they love it. It gives them a thrill. Those are the ones. How did I know?
Guilty. A long time ago, different planet.
Yeah. So these are the studyaholics. They just want to learn more. It's not enough. They want more. They want the nuances. They want to grab it again. So they're going to redo the ascension cycle. If we drop the idea that that's bad, that their choice to go to Singapore and go back to university is bad, if we drop our judgment of that and go, that's their choice. It's not a bad choice. It's just a different choice to mine. That's all that it is. Where do the children and the animals go? Because that's the other question I always get asked. The children go normally. There's no rules here. Each soul decides for itself. But in general, the children go to the highest frequency parent. So if a child has two parents and one is going to 5D and the other one is going to repeat the ascension cycle, generally they go to the highest frequency parent. Animals will easily go to the highest frequency. You must remember, for animals and children, ascension is just, it's another breath of air. It's so easy.
It's interesting as my parents are on this next step on their journey. And there's the I'll call it the 3D. No, we'll call it the sun in me. Not the sunlight, but the sun, the child. Um, wants to save them. Well, if I can get them to the gym, if I can get them eating better, if I can get them doing this, if I can get them in a routine, if I can get them, I get them, I get them. At the end of the day, I know I can't do any of that. I will still try, of course, but my level of try gets to be a very relaxed efforting, knowing it's their path, it's their journey, and it is perfect just as it is. Even if we think it is, oh my God, it's perfect. It's not just a choice, and it's not a choice like somebody shooting themselves on the foot. Even if we see it that way, it is perfect for their journey.
And maybe what they're doing is teaching us acceptance. And maybe we shouldn't be so thick-headed and just get the damn lesson, you
Do
know?
it. Speaking of thick-headed, we have lots of geopolitical stuff going on right now. Without judgment. I did say thick-headed. Okay, give me everybody. What does this have to do with Lionsgate frequencies, collapsing timelines, and everything that's going on and going to take place?
Please remember this. Bifurcation of timelines. Please remember this. The two timelines are becoming more crystallized and more solid. So they will look as if chaos is occurring because it's like a splitting apart, it's a breaking apart. It will look like turmoil. It is not, it is unraveling. And very, very often what you think of as someone bad and something bad is actually behind the scenes working for the good. Please do not trust what your eyes see because you've watched it on mainstream media. You have to trust what your heart feels. Block out the news, tune into the truth.
I have dear, we call her our sister. She's worked with us in Inspire Nation since basically day number one and before we were Inspire Nation. She's our moderator. She'll be watching this as we go on. And her name is affectionately Aya Bear. And Aya Bear is in the Philippines. And each year or many times a year has applied for a visa to come visit the States. And each year and each time she is denied. Yesterday, she crossed all her I's, dotted all her T's, went to the embassy for her visit, and was denied again.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
It's all, I can't, this is again where we get to grieve. We get to cry. And at the same time, there is a reason for it, isn't there?
And so often we think this is bad, when in fact we don't understand how it's serving us. We see a situation and it's not how we envisioned it. So we say, well, this is a bad situation because it's not how I envisioned it. But it could be because there's a higher vision and you're not tuning in yet to the higher vision. And that's what this is about. This is not about, I'm going to fight with the politicians or the people in charge or the system and make a change so that I can be happy. This is like, I'm going to allow the system to be where it is and how it is. And I'm going to allow myself the same thing, to be where I am, how I am, as I am. And that is going to elevate me to a higher timeline, and trust in that. Don't try to change the system. Be the change inside of you, and watch how your life goes where you did not think it was going to go or how it was going to go, but it's better.
I was looking at, again, I don't have my phone. I always have my phone here, but I don't now. I would show you a picture. I'm not going to go there right now, but I have pictures of all of these different casts. I took photos of this before we let go of the house, all these different casts from legs breaking. I've had an interesting life growing up, and then of a titanium rod that was in my lower leg and titanium pins that were in my lower leg from when I was waved by a safety official. I was trying to make it to the Tour de France. I was racing for a French team, and I was waved by a safety official. Vous allez, American, through a blind turn and into an oncoming car, which ended my career. And if I knew now what I know then, I could have come back, but I wasn't meant to. And I'm there. I'm laying on the ground, I'm writhing in pain, and I'm digging my nails into hot asphalt. And for some reason, I had the thought, don't bite down, you'll lose your teeth, because I was in such pain. And all I was thinking is, God is dead, there is no God. And I took a photo yesterday or the day before of these titanium parts, which could represent an end of a career, an end of a dream. And certainly they were that. But they're actually so much more, and such an amazing beginning.
Yeah.
Meowsers.
Hello, baby.
That I couldn't have. Oh, are you coming to make me feel better? Because Daddy's crying. It's all here to serve us. It's all, I had no idea what was coming because of that, not despite that, here for me.
Oh, baby.
No. Oh, thank you. He's over 20. He is our miracle kitty and he holds space for us. Miracle kitty of miracle kitties. And I'd say he's been younger this year. You have been, haven't you?
Oh, Angel.
All right. Can you finish this sentence for me? And then I want to know where people can go. Thank you, Meowsers. Where people can go to find all your work and to, oh, wow, what did he do to the mic? And to find your meditation. If you do nothing else during this portal, do
this. And literally feel, don't think. Feel in that breath how you drop down into your chest. Let the in-breath bring you into your body, and the out-breath drop you down. If you do one thing, get inside your essence, because inside of you is a universe. And it's time for you to access the depth and the breadth of that universe now. And you can find me at kerryk.com.
Woohoo! Perfect, seamless. Love how that flowed. So if we've got nothing else today, we've got you and we've got
baby.
No.
Perfection.
I think we're done. Any last words you want to share? And the time as I'm looking at this is interesting too, is 1, 2, 2, 1. Which flipped around is also 1, 2, 2, 1.
How perfect is that? So don't wait for Lionsgate to do a Lionsgate meditation. You can, but you can do it in February, January, December. It doesn't matter. In my online community right now, everybody's got 365 days of the year access to the Lionsgate meditation. It's just about aligning yourself to that higher portal and allow yourself that and understand this, that higher portal is trying to align to you right now, and it's why you're listening to this podcast.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Meow,
thank you.
In the background going, we're done. I don't know if you can hear him there. He's going.
Oh, sweetie pie.
I'm so glad I called you up for this.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you called. I'm so glad I answered. I'm so glad we got to do this. Because, as much as we think that we're looking for love, love is also looking for us. Love is looking for you, and it wants you to come home to the love that you are right now. So just come home, damn it.
And on that note, for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, up and beyond all out. Shine bright. Woohoo! Oh, this was too much fun.
Oh, wasn't it just? Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much, my darling. Beautiful.
Another wow, 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 oh wow, and then some, and then some, and then some. On that note, if you want to bring that energy up, if you want to bring in that Syrian energy, the energy of the mystic, and learn how to live at that higher level, to swim through those crystalline waters, come join us for the School of Mystics 4 Wednesdays each month, live and recorded. Simply click that link down below. There are attunements, there's infusion with energy, there's alignment of energy, there's clearing of energy, and group intention meditations, and so much more. That link down below. If you simply, though, want to bring your energy up each and every day with a daily attunement, come on over to Daily Woohoo. It's totally free, dailywoohoo.com. If you want to learn how to channel and communicate with the other side, beyond the veil, with loved ones, with guides, with anything, with Syrians, of course, simply come on over to automaticwriting.com. We have a live classes each month, plus a video-based program, so you can begin channeling tomorrow. I'd say today, but tomorrow morning you'll begin channeling. And here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you so, so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! You're magnificent. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. And I love you. I love you. I love you.